Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Seeing a couple people in here already. I'm seeing we got Master Shinobi. Well, howdy, howdy, is howdy. Here. Oh, hold on. I had sound on my phone to keep the chat window open somewhere else since I don't have two monitors. Let's see. I'm seeing Master Shinobi, Darth Gilles, and we're restoring the Snyderverse. I'll tell you right now, we probably won't restore the Snyderverse tonight. Today in this in this particular live stream on account of the fact that there's only 9 people here, but I enjoy the enthusiasm. Restore the Timmverse, yeah. Levi Church is in the building. BioBlades here, hello. Milos, is it Milos or Milos? Milos Kavlin. Did you like the Snyder Cut? Yes, I had a lot of fun with the Snyder Cut. I actually, I appeared on a podcast to talk about the Snyder Cut. The Kino Lefter podcast, their Snyder Cut episode just went up today. If that's something y'all are interested in, go look for it. It is, Jesus, their podcast on it is longer than the movie itself. They brought in a bunch of different creators from a bunch of different little internet outlets, and we all got like 30 minutes to an hour to talk about it each. It was a lot of fun. I would definitely go hunt that down if you've got the time. Sorry, I'm eating lunch right now as well because I got places to be after I get out of here. But I tried to schedule it so we can do more time here today so we can get through as much of the book as possible. But I, just needed to make sure I could get my lunch in me. Rob, you're the loser. Tito Bog, or Tito BG, hello. What's your thoughts on the new Restore the Snyderverse? Do you think it'll ever happen? I don't know. I can see a possibility of WB saying like, this could definitely make us some money, but like with the way that the Snyder Cut was apparently mostly complete and only needed like a small amount of, I won't say small, but comparatively small amount of work done to get the final product versus like what a sequel would need. I don't know that they'll go for it, but it's possible. I don't know. I think mainly my biggest issue with the Restore the Snyderverse thing is just that like I would hope that for the most part the people that are doing it do it in like WB tweets and stuff. Like, don't harass people that have nothing to do with it. We've had some folks just spamming us on Twitter, and it's just like we can't do anything. We don't even work for WB. Like I enjoy your enthusiasm, but you're bogging down our notifications. Hello, Brandon Fetters. Good to see you here. I'm gonna take this bite real quick. Oh, that's Twitter. Y'all don't need that. I was posting our stuff. We're hopping back into Secret Origins today. Justice League Secret Origins, the novelization of the team's first run. We're a little bit over halfway done with the book. It's been over a month. It's been really slow. I want to try to get through as much of it as possible today. Hey Josiah, how's it going? I want to get through as much of it as possible today so we can get moved on to the next book and I don't have to give Amazon money for Kindle anymore. So I'm gonna try to go till like 2 o'clock ish and see where we are there. God, this is a good salad. And of course, as always, we'll be breaking it down in our canonicity timeline spreadsheet. It's got notes for like character appearances, timeline stuff that's references to shows, etc. It's gonna be a blast. Chapter 6 is when the Fatal Five show up, right? That's not until like a bajillion books later. But anyway, let me just go ahead. Let's hop in. I'm gonna just start reading, and we'll work from there. I've got the chat open on my phone over here, so I'm able to see what y'all are chit-chatting about and reacting to with the book. So I will try my best not to neglect you. I want to be a good YouTube dad to all of you. But let's go! Chapter 6. As the heroes discuss their next moves, the aliens continue to arrive, wreaking devastation around the globe. In Metropolis, huge sections of the city lay in ruins, with no end to the assault in sight. Standing amid destruction, Snapper Carr reported live to an increasingly anxious audience around the world. This is Snapper Carr, live from downtown Metropolis, he began. Behind him, the terrifying blast from the 3 alien walker pods still crashing through the rubble punctuated his even-toned commentary. As you could see, alien walkers continue clearing the area around the impact site. He gestured to the long trench carved by the asteroid's impact. Nearby, General Wells, oh, that's not part of the quote. Got it, that's not part of the news report. Nearby, General Wells barked orders to his troops, who continued the nearly hopeless attempt to stop the destruction. Stepping up to the general, Carr pointed to the camera, then began an impromptu interview. General Wells, he shouted to be heard over the alien plasma blast. Our military seems unable to stop them. Why? Wells turned his large, weary face to the camera. All our big missiles have been disarmed, he barked angrily. And our self-proclaimed protector, Superman, who disarmed those missiles in the first place, has apparently abandoned us. Having gotten his tasty soundbite, Carr stepped away from the general as the camera zoomed in for a close-up of the reporter's face. Earlier, Senator J. Allen Carter had this to say. At an unseen signal from Carr, the engineers back in the studio ran a tape of Senator Carter standing at a lectern in a room crowded with reporters. Carter spoke slowly and calmly. When I first proposed my peace initiative, no one ever imagined we would face an invasion like this, he began. Now we must stand together and resist this aggression. The tape ended, and the TV image cut seamlessly back to Carr. Hey, Raoul, how's it going? Howdy, Hans. Let's see. Hey, do you have the viewing order of BTAS? I'm sure I saw it in one of your videos. You probably did not see that. We don't have like a viewing order per se. We've been working on trying to like timeline everything, but the BTAS era itself is kind of weird. There are like official production order available that you can easily just look that up just by looking up Batman the Animated Series production order. But for the sake of us making a viewing order, it's more about making it work with the tie-in material and stuff, and timelining it all. But you won't, if you're not concerned about the tie-in stuff, then the production order works pretty okay. Those comments from Senator J. Allen. A horrendous noise from behind stopped Carr mid-sentence. Turning, he saw the huge alien asteroid shaking and splitting down the middle. Wait! He shouted, stepping instinctively away from the asteroid, his cameraman sticking with his every move. We have a breaking development. The asteroid that carried the devastating walkers is moving again. New cracks appear to be forming. Crack! The asteroid was splitting... God, I'm just having such a hard time today. The asteroid was splitting open like an enormous egg. The two halves fell away, revealing thick black smokestacks reaching into the sky like the antenna of some monstrous being. Oh my lord! General Wells gasped, watching as the smokestacks rose higher and higher. Snapper Carr dashed for cover, his cameraman capturing images of the ever-growing menace. Behind the smokestacks, a massive machine emerged, looking like both a living organism and a mechanical construct. Two heart-like chambers on the device's exterior pulsated in alternating pumping rhythms, flashing like two malevolent red eyes. A spinning drill dropped from the side of the machine, splitting the asphalt, digging down into the earth. Building in intensity from deep within the machine, black clouds spewed from the smokestacks, filling the sky with darkness, blocking out the sun. I don't think there's anything to note from that other than like maybe General Wells. I don't remember if we've mentioned him yet. Okay, yeah, he's been mentioned as far back as the 2nd chapter, so nothing to note there. I'm currently going through a DC paperback, Helltown, the question being the main character. Hell yeah, question's a lot of fun. There's a list of episodes in the long DCAU timeline video. Yeah, so that's I mean that's a partial list, but it's not a complete list by any means. How's the Pokemon game going for you? You know what? I accidentally goofed my save file on that, and so I got discouraged and haven't really returned to it yet. But I might do that at some point. Hello, Lord. Just Lord. I assume that is a title rather than a name. Okay. On the cliffs of the Rocky Mountains, half a continent away, the heroes heard a deep rumbling. They watched in horror as unnatural darkness covered the distant sky and shafts of lightning crackled from the Oh, hold on. Why am I having such a hard time reading today? They watched in horror as unnatural darkness covered the distant sky and shafts of lightning crackled from the haze, dancing on the horizon. What is that? Wonder Woman asked, all eyes focused on the approaching maelstrom. It is like no storm I have ever witnessed. Jean Jones stared at the darkening sky, knowing its significance all too well. It has begun, he announced as the black clouds spread like a visible evil. What are they doing? Hawkgirl asked, understanding from Jean's tone that this was no natural phenomenon, but rather the horrific handiwork of aliens. The invaders are nocturnal, Jean explained. They want to block out the sun so they can live in perpetual darkness. Flash turned to Batman. Friends of yours? He asked, winking. This is no joke. Batman replied tersely, rarely amused even in the best of times. Finding all this seriousness oppressive, Flash turned to Jean Jones. What's the big problem? He asked, shrugging. Can't you just whip up another batch of that nerve gas? Unfortunately, no. Jean replied, shaking his head. The gas can only be made from a rare Martian plant. I brought a sample with me, but it was destroyed when I was captured. Flash's expression soured. What's plan B? The invaders have set up a series of interconnected, underground ionization factories around the planet, Jean Jones explained, each producing the black ion clouds you see in the sky. It is the next phase in their plan to conquer Earth. Then we'll have to take out those factories, Wonder Woman said confidently. Green Lantern turned abruptly, standing face to face with the Amazon princess. Lady, this is no job for amateurs, he snarled derisively. Wonder Woman met his gaze unflinchingly, stepping closer to the emerald-clad galactic defender. We Amazons are born warriors, she snapped back. Want to test me? Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I hope you can get back to the game from your last save point. Yeah, I mean, like it wasn't too far, but like just redoing stuff in Pokemon is always quite a drudge. Novelized versions of TV and movies can be cool, add more lore and story, but I feel the same about any other mediums. Copy and paste essentially, like book to movie. I don't know. I prefer whole new stories. I feel that. But this is what the audience voted on. I had put a poll up on Twitter and. This is what was suggested. Dang, Maddie, you snuck up on me. Surprise. Could Superman find the plant in 5 minutes if Jean put the image of it into Clark's head? I mean, didn't he say it was destroyed, though? Yeah, it was destroyed when I was captured. Not just it was taken away. It's destroyed. Superman stepped between the two heroes before any blows were exchanged. Let's not fight among ourselves, he said in a soft, conciliatory voice. Grabbing Green Lantern by the arm, the Man of Steel pulled him aside. John, we're going to need all the help we can get, he said firmly. Fine, Green Lantern replied, not sounding entirely convinced. I'm sorry, Your Highness, he said to Wonder Woman, using the royal address sarcastically. So, this is how I am judged in the world of mortals. Diana thought, rage building inside her. Clenching her fists, lips pursed, she stepped back, swallowing her anger for the good of the group. Sensing a victory of sorts, Green Lantern assumed his leadership role once more. Tactically, we'll have multiple objectives, he announced, turning to face the others. So we'll need to split into teams. In the blink of an eye, Flash appeared next to Wonder Woman, placing his arm around her shoulder. Dibs on the Amazon, he said, unfurling a big grin. What I mean is Superman going to Mars to find another one. Maybe, but I would imagine that with the Imperium forces having kind of put a stranglehold on Mars, it seems like Mars was a lot more desolate by this point than it was, you know, when Jean did his deal 5,000 years ago. Let me get this last little bit of salad real quick. Alright, there that goes. Why read or watch something I've already read or watched, vice versa? I guess can be different enough to be interesting, like Lord of the Rings movies and books are different. Yeah, I mean, I think there's the difference with Lord of the Rings is that the movies are based off of the books rather than the other way around. But this is more or less just based off of the TV show. So yeah, I totally get that. There has been a couple of new interesting tidbits here and there, but it's not a lot. Let's see, where was I? Oh, there we are. What? Diana shouted, still fuming from her confrontation with Green Lantern. She removed Flash's arm from her shoulder forcefully, glaring at the Scarlet Speedster. Am I some prize to be won? She wondered, confusion mixing with her anger. Dividing the group into teams for maximum efficiency, Green Lantern sent Batman, Wonder Woman, and J'onn J'onzz to Egypt to take out a factory beneath the desert. Superman and Hawkgirl returned to Metropolis to deal with the factory there. Taking Flash as his partner, Green Lantern headed for the jungles of Malaysia to dismantle the ion factory that had been set up in the rainforest. Flying across the ocean, surrounded by a green energy field propelled by the awesome force of his power ring, Green Lantern sped toward Malaysia, hovering several yards above the churning sea. Beside him, the fastest man alive raced across the ocean, running on its surface. A 10-foot-tall wall of water, churned up by his incredibly fast feet, sprayed out behind him. The Flash turned to his partner, who struggled to keep up, soaring through the air just above him. You're no fun, he said, pouting. Why couldn't I go with the Amazon princess? I really think she was beginning to like me. Green Lantern shook his head at the blind confidence, more like blissful ignorance, of the young hero racing along the ocean surface. This isn't supposed to be fun, he shouted, to be heard over the roar of the wake rising behind the Scarlet Speedster. We've got a job to do, and we'll do it better without distractions. Understood? Yeah, Flash sighed, realizing that Green Lantern was right, even though he didn't like it. I understand. No distractions. Slowing as they approached the shoreline, the speeding swaths of emerald and crimson reached the beach, then headed deep into the dense Malaysian jungle. Reaching a cliff overlooking a clearing, the heroes peered down at the huge alien ion factory. The massive structure, so completely out of place in the center of a pristine jungle, rose to the sky like an enormous mutated insect. Curved walls led to two glowing, pulsating chambers that flashed with red light, pumping ionic energy from deep below the Earth's surface. A spinning drill violated the once lush jungle floor. Now charred and shredded, and soaring smokestacks belched black clouds of ionic fumes into the darkening sky. Alien walkers surrounding the factory blasted the thick jungle foliage, leveling ancient trees. Changing mediums can help expand the audience who aren't fans of the original medium. Very true. Yes. Hello, 205 Gamer. Also try to see every point of view. Alan Moore also has some very good points about adaptations. I'll have to look into that. Did Snyder Cut live up to my expectation? It surpassed my expectation. I did not expect it to be worth my time, and it was. That's our target, Green Lantern announced, pointing to the devastation below. Now listen up. Here's our plan. What plan? Flash replied impatiently, shrugging his shoulders and scowling. We go in, we kick the butts, we leave, right? So let's get this over with. Before Green Lantern could reply, Flash took off, running straight down the sheer face of the cliff, dashing toward the factory, surrounded by a dust cloud kicked up by the Flash's hasty departure. The Emerald Warrior sighed, shaking his head at the boy's recklessness. Arriving at the edge of the clearing, Flash halted abruptly, then whistled at the walkers, waving his arms and shouting, "Hey, over here!" Having garnered their attention, Flash streaked among the walkers, using his speed to easily avoid their repeated plasma blasts. "Ha ha! Missed me!" he cried as the aliens fired at the spot where Flash had been standing and taunting them just milliseconds earlier. Brimming with confidence, once again, working his way to the outer walls of the factory, Flash tripped over a defensive mine sensitive enough to be triggered even by his slight footfall. Thoosh! Propelled high into the air, Flash rode a sloshing wave of a thick, glue-like material. "Whoa!" he cried, falling back to the ground, covered in the gelatinous goo. Watching from the cliff, Green Lantern shook his head. "Fool!" he cried, powering up his ring. Landing on the ground in a pool of the sticky substance, Flash struggled in vain to free himself, his arms and legs firmly stuck. Looking up, he spotted a walker pod lumbering toward him. A blast from the pod seared the glue just inches from his leg. The enormous walker rotated, its plasma cannon taking dead aim on the trapped figure in red. A green beam slashed through the air, slicing off one of the walker's legs. "Hang tight, hotshot!" Green Lantern shouted as he soared above. Thrown off balance by the loss of its leg, the pod staggered, stumbled, then finally toppled to the ground, shattering to bits on the jungle floor. Hovering above Flash, Green Lantern looked down at the pathetic sight in the puddle of goo. "Hey!" Flash said casually, as if running into his friend on a street corner. "I'm sort of stuck here," he added, nodding at the pool surrounding him. "So I see," Green Lantern replied, looking back and spotting two more walkers heading toward them. "Of all the idiotic, boneheaded, glory-grabbing moves, haven't you ever heard of teamwork?" Using the beam from his power ring as a laser, he sliced through the sticky goo, releasing Flash's arms and legs. Zapped! As Flash leapt free, a plasma blast split the ground where he had been trapped. Maybe we'd better save the motivational speeches till later," he suggested as the walker fired another blast at the heroes. Expanding the dimension of the energy beam from his ring, Green Lantern widened the thin shaft of light into a protective shield. Boom! The next blast erupted against the translucent green dome, dissipating around the heroes. Shifting its strategy, the walker detonated a grenade, releasing a sickly gas that penetrated the green shield. Vulnerable to the noxious fumes, Green Lantern collapsed to the ground, choking. Racing to his friend's side, Flash swung his arms in circles like two high-powered fan blades, his elbows locked. As his arms spun faster and faster, a whirlwind whipped up, blowing away the toxic gas. When the air cleared, Flash looked up to see two walkers towering directly over him, their plasma weapons ready. "Uh-oh," he said weakly. "Gotta run!" Scooping his fallen partner into his arms, the Scarlet Speedster streaked into the nearby thicket, vanishing from view just as the walkers opened fire. Recovering from the effects of the gas, Green Lantern raised his head to look up at his partner. "I hope the others are having better luck than we are," he groaned as Flash carried him deep into the jungle. Alright, so I don't think we got a lot of notes there, but we did get mentions of Egypt and, what was it, Malaysia is where Flash and Green Lantern went? Yeah, Malaysia. Egypt and Malaysia. So, I gotta at least pop those into... Oh, nope. We already have Egypt and Malaysia in Chapter 3. Okay, well then, we are good there. Sometimes I think life would be better if Wally West wasn't around anymore. Please give us Barry Allen. The whole token legendarium is something very near and dear to my heart. I've never read the books, but I do enjoy the movies. And the Rankin Bass movies from way back in the day, I think, were my entry point to Lord of the Rings and all that. I feel the opposite. Barry shouldn't have been brought back after Crisis. Decades of readers grew up with Wally as the only Flash. I like both of them. It's important for major characters to stay dead. To have some weight, like Jean Grey coming back, did not sit well with Claremont. I could agree with that as well. Personally, I just think that we should just be at a point where, like, a lot of these characters are what is it, public domain characters, and everyone can write their fun DC Comics superhero stories and have them dead in some and not dead in others. That's my take. Hello, Mercy Galleon. Welcome to the stream. We are on Chapter 7. I'm feeling like my coffee, my caffeine rush is starting to dwindle a little bit, but that's okay. We're on Chapter 7 out of 9. The Great Pyramids of Egypt rose from an endless expanse of desert. Swirling gusts of wind catapulted sand through the air, sending it cascading along the sides of these towers of old. Nearby, the mighty Sphinx sat as it had for thousands of years, a silent sentry, witness to an endless stream of travelers, visitors, and most recently, hostile alien invaders. In the wide stretch of sand around these marvels of the ancient world, another alien ionization factory sprawled like a cancerous growth, pounding and drilling, vibrating with energy, its towering smokestacks spewing black filth into the air. Crouching in the shadow at the base of the Sphinx, Batman and Wonder Woman waited, he more patiently than she. Peering out, his dark cowl glinting briefly in the last ray of sunlight, breaking through the thickening black clouds, Batman spotted a walker patrolling nearby. Ducking back to the safety of the shadows, he signaled for Diana to remain still. Hiding like cowards is not the Amazon way, she protested when the walker had tromped past. Rising from her squatting position, Wonder Woman stepped forward. Batman moved swiftly, standing and blocking her path. "Not yet," he said, always the cautious warrior, preferring stealth to hasty grand gestures. They must have a weakness. When we find it, then we'll strike." Rising from the sand like a slender green ghost, J'onn J'onzz appeared before the Dark Knight and the Amazon Princess, his semi-transparent form solidifying before their eyes. Batman, for one, was still not used to these unexpected appearances, and he wondered once again about the full extent of his new comrade's abilities. "I have scouted the outer walls of the factory," J'onn reported, joining the others in the shadows. "There are no openings." More Barry and Wally talk. Gotta go, guys. My kitten is yelling at me. Well, have a good one, Hans. Have fun with your kitten. Last Saturday we got 2 issues. Number 12 with Terminal. Is that right? We got 2 an issue with Terminal. I don't remember off the top of my head what issue number it was. But you could certainly check the stream again to double check, or look up that issue. I'm not gonna derail this for that though, mostly because the DC editorials, the Silver Age characters are the true version of these mantles. So Barry and Hal get pushed over Wally, John, Guy, and Kyle. Let's see. This was more than Wonder Woman could bear. Who did that? Who did the thing? Aiden. We have like a bunch of new subscribers in the last couple seconds. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you're in the chat with us now, because I don't know, YouTube doesn't automatically put you in. Maybe you're off somewhere else. But if you're in the chat, I have a boomstick, Jeff of the Mellows, and Aiden Akatsuki. Thank you for subscribing. This was more than Wonder Woman could bear. During her years battling alongside her fellow Amazons, she had feared no one and nothing, rushing into battle, knowing the gods supported her efforts. All this sneaking about and lurking in shadows was repellent to her warrior soul. If there are no openings, she began, standing up, springing from her hiding spot, then we'll make our own. J'onn J'onzz turned to stop her, but Batman grasped his arm firmly, holding him back. Wait, the Dark Knight said, realizing that keeping Diana silent and still for much longer would not be easy. Let's see what she can do. J'onn nodded in agreement. Taking to the air, the Amazon princess soared above a walker, keeping watch near the factory. Unfurling her golden lasso as she dodged a blast from a plasma cannon, Wonder Woman dove toward the walker's legs. Tossing the gleaming rope, Diana looped the lasso around all three of the pod's tall legs, pulling it taut. After flying around the walker several times, she landed. Hera, give me strength! She shouted, invoking the name of the Queen of the Gods. Pulling with all her great might, Wonder Woman tightened the lasso around the walker's legs. Attempting to step, the giant pod teetered, its balance destroyed by the tightly drawn lasso. Tipping over, the walker crashed into an outer wall of the Ion Factory, tearing open a gaping hole in its side. From their hiding place, Batman and J'onn J'onzz exchanged looks of amazement, then watched as the dust cleared, revealing Wonder Woman standing atop the fallen walker, pointing proudly into the large hole she had created with her strength and cunning. There's your opening, she announced. Not bad, Batman commented to J'onn as Diana flew through the opening. They hurried in after her. Stepping into the factory, Batman noticed immediately that the dark corridor had a damp, almost organic feel, as if they had entered the body of a huge living creature rather than a building. He spotted a troop of aliens, armed with the same type of plasma rifles he had encountered at the military base where they had found J'onn. The aliens retreated, turning to fire every few steps. Leaping forward, Wonder Woman deflected the blast with her silver bracelets. They run like cowards, she shouted back to the others. What are you waiting for? Rushing ahead, followed closely by J'onn J'onzz, Diana pursued the aliens who raced deeper into the dark recesses of the factory, carefully avoiding the pools of sunlight pouring in through the hole in the outer wall. Ever the detective, Batman paused, looking up at the shafts of light streaming in, his eyes narrowing, his mind processing various details of the entire affair. Then he turned and ran deeper into the factory, hurrying to catch up with his comrades. Okay, so we have a couple things to note here. I guess we're in chapter 7 now, so let me... So we had mention of the Sphinx. Sphinx has been around thousands of years. And then they said like Wonder Woman, what was it? Has been like battling for years. During her years battling alongside her fellow Amazons, Wonder Woman has spent years battling alongside fellow Amazons. And then, of course, we have our first Hera give me strength. WB Games just announced that they'll be making a Batwoman DLC for Gotham. Awesome. That's cool. For Gotham Knights. Yeah. That's the full title. Gotham Knights. I'm excited to see how that game goes. Just curious on your thoughts. What are your thoughts on more recent versions of Wonder Woman having her as more of a sword fighter? Do you prefer her with the sword or just the lasso and fists? I don't particularly mind what she's equipped with, but I do think that tapping into Wonder Woman being more of a warrior character recently, I guess like when I say recently, I mean like in her recent history, like going back maybe even a couple decades now, but like, you know, towards the start she wasn't anywhere nearly as like a warrior as she is today, and I think that's probably the important thing. What she's equipped with doesn't necessarily matter to me. What's up, Maddie? Hey, Josiah, how's it going? We're trying to speed through the rest of this book. I'm trying to do maybe up to 2 hours today, if I can, to try to get through the rest of Secret Origins. We're having a fun time. This might be the wrong time and place to ask, but will there be a Will It Canon episode of Batman and Harley Quinn? Yes, and hopefully, if things go according to plan, it might be one of the biggest videos we've ever done. I will go ahead and say that much, but I'm gonna zip the lip on the rest of it. Superman looked out on his beloved city of Metropolis, now lying in flaming ruins. His concern for the fate of the planet consumed his every thought, but his heart ached for his adopted home in a special, more personal way. He felt for this great city, brought to its knees by the blight of an alien invasion. Hawkgirl pounded a walker pod with her energized mace, shredding it into metallic slivers. Then she flew toward another approaching alien. Superman, meanwhile, grabbed a pod by the leg, tearing the bottom half of the mechanical limb from its joint. He hurled it like a spear at the ion factory. Shwip! The projectile pierced the factory's outer wall, cleaving an opening. "Hawkgirl, follow me!" Superman cried, flying through the hole into the factory. Within seconds, Hawkgirl landed beside him. As they explored the maze-like interior of the structure, it occurred to Superman that it looked more like the bones and tissue of a living organism than the steel and glass of a factory complex. "Keep a sharp eye out," Superman warned Hawkgirl. "I always do," she replied, using her keen sight to scan the passageway ahead. Zing, zing, zing! Oh, excuse me. Alien blaster fire rained down all around them from an outcropping above. Superman spotted a squadron of aliens rushing toward them, weapons blazing. "Stay back!" he yelled. "Out!" Hawkgirl rushed past Superman, ignoring his plea, flying right into the cluster of 8 heavily armed aliens. "Yay!" she bellowed, shouting a traditional battle cry from her home world of Thanagar. That wasn't a traditional battle cry. I did that wrong. Should it be yay? Is that more battle cry? Is that maybe a yee? I don't know. How would that sound coming from Hawkgirl? Yeah! I don't I can't figure it out. I don't know what to do. Just pretend I did a good Hawkgirl battle cry. Just that's it. That's the battle cry. Yay! Maybe that. That's higher up in the register. Though Hawkgirl isn't at least a very high-pitched voice for a woman's voice. So I don't know. Just pretend I did it right, okay? Just in your minds, whatever happens in the actual Secret Origins, just put that there. Just in your minds. Guy Gardner is the best Green Lantern because he's got more balls than Hal Jordan, John Stewart, Kyle Rayner combined. I don't know that much about Guy Gardner, but I'll take your word for your opinion. Life is going good. Got a dog Monday. Her name is Ginger, and she's a cockapoo. Oh hell yeah! That sounds like a lot of fun. I've been wanting to get me a dog, but you know, money and stuff. Are you guys going to have another duel with Jay's reviews? No, that's not what. If that's in regards to the Batman and Harley Quinn thing, no. Would you rather be in the Green Lantern Corps or the Sinestro Corps? Even I don't know enough about the different corps, but the Green Lantern Corps itself has always been pretty cool to me. So there's your answer. This is Batman and Harley Quinn. It needs all the stops thrown out for it. Every YouTuber, every creator cameo, multiple versions of the Data Boys from across the multiverse. It deserves no less. No comment. When I was 18, I found a fanfic about what could have happened if Lex Luthor succeeded in uploading his brain into that Amazo body he was building. That sounds interesting. Let's see. Love that. Hell yeah. Come on. That might be a fun thing to clip, Josiah. I'll try to get you the footage and everything later. Come on, and we all know how Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman screams sound like. They sound like ancient lamentations. What I meant was like the last time when James asked Jay a bunch of questions. I don't know. I don't know. We do have some stuff that we want to rope Jay back into, but he's not solely a DCAU YouTuber. So it's whenever he has the anything that happens on his channel is by his design, with minimal input from us. So that would be more of a question to ask of him. Maddie trying his best to hide storyline spoilers. Pretty much. I'm being pressed really hard. But yeah, yee. Yee. She bellowed. Have y'all ever seen that video of the dinosaurs that are just like yee with each other, the animated dinosaurs? That's another way that this could be read as a battle cry. Shouting a traditional battle cry from her homeworld of Thanagar as she engaged with the enemies, ferociously swinging her mace. White bolts of energy sprang from its head as the powerful weapon slammed into the first two aliens, taking them out instantly. Dodging their weapons' fire, Hawkgirl backhanded three more, one of whom came flying right at Superman. Ducking, the Man of Steel turned to see the alien splat against the wall behind him, dripping down the slick surface like melting ice cream. "Whoa!" Superman muttered, astonished and impressed by his teammates' prowess. Turning back to the battle, he saw that it was over. Hawkgirl stood beside the final three vanquished aliens. He stared in disbelief. "What?" Hawkgirl said defensively, noticing his look of amazement. "There's a time for words and a time for action. I knew if we hesitated, they would have had the opportunity to gain the upper hand, and I simply could not allow that." Then she took to the air, flying deeper into the factory. Superman followed Hawkgirl, and the two flew together through the narrow hallways of the complex maze. "They're close by," Hawkgirl announced, excitedly rounding a sharp curve. "I can almost smell them." "Are you always so eager to fight?" Superman asked, somewhat repulsed by his partner's savagery, yet very glad they were on the same side. "My home planet, Thanagar, is a warlike world," Hawkgirl explained. "There, one must strike first or die." Just then, plasma blasts ricocheted off the wall, above the hero's head. They halted and turned to give chase, with Hawkgirl in the lead. Unlike the previous assault, this time the aliens fled, apparently unwilling to confront the winged warrior again. As Hawkgirl pursued them down a constricted corridor, a wall, more like an organic membrane than a manufactured structure, closed between her and the retreating attackers. Whirling around, Superman spied another membrane closing behind him, like the pupil of an eye dilating in bright light. "It's a trap!" he shouted as two more walls slammed shut, forming a tiny chamber around the two heroes. This is like the second Star Wars today. That we had the Walker pod with Wonder Woman's rope being like the God, what is it? Is it AT-AT? Is that the name of the thing? You know what I'm talking about. How they take down that big old robot in Star Wars, and now we got it's a trap. He shouted as two more walls slammed shut, forming a tiny chamber around the two heroes. The telltale hiss of gas pouring into the sealed area alerted Superman to the final piece of the plan. Hawkgirl fell to the ground, choking, coughing violently, and gasping for breath. "Hang on, Hawkgirl!" Superman shouted, latching onto the wall behind him, pulling powerfully, trying to open the membrane. Zapped! Searing jolts of electric energy shot into the Man of Steel's hands, forcing him to release his grip. Stunned, he collapsed to the ground beside Hawkgirl as the thick, noxious fumes filled the airtight chamber. Okay, not a lot to add here. We got mention of Thanagar, so I'll put that on locations. But otherwise, nothing really new. What did you think of Jay's DC movie retrospective? I haven't watched it. I'm very, very behind on keeping up with YouTube stuff, just on account of I have been catching up on years and years of TV that I have missed. So I have not seen his DC movie retrospective myself, and I cannot give an opinion on that. Will there be a musical number in the Batman and Harley Quinn Willett canon? I can't answer any more questions about that. If it makes you feel any better, though, the script's not written, so a musical number could potentially exist, but currently does not. But that's the last question I'm answering on that topic. Is it too early to talk about Snyder Cut? I mean, some folks have brought it up already, so Rob Paulson's gonna be in the video to see a little song. Oh god, that would be funny. You need my shirt? I got it at Goodwill. But it is, god, what is? What am I doing? I can't read the label. It's like Western Outfitters or something like that. It's a pretty old design, so you probably won't be able to find it like from a first-hand shop. But like you could probably find it secondhand on eBay or something. I always tell my mom that the guy from Wings, Tim Daly, sounds just like the guy from the president from Scandal. She doesn't get it. Beautiful. You're doing a horrible impression of Maria Canals, but that's fine. I'm not a woman. I don't have the range. AT-AT. Okay, I got it right. Really quick, I'm gonna go on the standby and fill up my my cup of water. I am running low, and I don't have LaCroix to grab from today. So give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. I'm back. All right, where were we? We were right under the JL. Deep beneath the Egyptian desert, Batman, Wonder Woman, and J'onn J'onzz were caught in a barrage of alien fire. As the others desperately sought a way out, Wonder Woman deflected the incoming plasma blast with her bracelets. "They've blocked our path again," she shouted, glancing around for a tunnel or corridor leading away from the alien troops.
"It's almost as if they know what we're thinking,"
Batman added while pulling an exploding batarang from his utility belt and tossing it at the soldiers. Thoom! The batarang detonated, scattering the attackers momentarily. He had bought the group a few seconds.
"Any ideas, John?"
Batman asked his teammate. J'onn J'onzz stood motionless and silent, as if in a trance, his large eyes glowing orange.
"John!"
Batman repeated. The glow in his eyes fading, the Martian Manhunter withdrew from his trance and turned to Batman.
"Superman and Hawkgirl are down,"
he stated sadly.
"They have failed."
"What?" Diana asked in disbelief, wondering how he could possibly know. "Are you sure?" J'onn nodded with certainty.
"I can sense it,"
he said softly. His eyes suddenly opened wide, and a tense expression washed over his calm face, as if he was hearing something the others could not.
"This way,"
he said quickly, pointing down a corridor to the right.
"Hurry!"
With the others following closely, J'onn led the way into a tiny side passageway, just as 3 walls slammed shut in the corridor they had left. Had we
stayed a moment longer, he would have been trapped in the same manner as Superman and Hawkgirl,
J'onn explained, gesturing to the membrane. "Oh, we would. I said he. Whoopsie."
"These factories react like living beings, anticipating our moves, attempting to outwit and trap us. Quickly now, follow me."
Wonder Woman and the Martian Manhunter took to the air, flying through a small hole at the top of a side wall. Batman followed, firing a grappling batarang into the ceiling, then pulling himself up and through the same hole. Pausing and looking back, the three heroes saw that they were alone. "We lost them," Wonder Woman announced.
"For the moment,"
Batman added.
"Look,"
Jean said, pointing ahead, leading the others to the end of a long corridor that opened into a huge cavern.
"It's the central core, the heart of the entire global factory complex."
Batman and Wonder Woman gazed at the central core, a deep, pulsing sound filling their ears. Large, organic-looking pumps throbbed in sequence like pounding hearts. Energy pulsed through miles of tangled, vein-like pipes as hundreds of alien technicians monitored the complex system. Boom, boom, boom. What y'all got going on? Is he talking about Hawk Girl? Yeah. She was on Wizards of Waverly Place, I remember. The production value of these streams is top notch. I mean, it's James did a lot of work on this layout, and the screen you're reading or that you got is just the Kindle Unlimited website. So you know. But yeah, we try to make everything we do look a little good. More talking about Disney Channel. Yeah, I think I probably stopped watching around the time of Wizards of Waverly Place as well. Okay, how do we communicate that they failed to the others? How about we just have Jean say they failed? I can sense it. Genius. Beautiful. Okay, where was I? Vein-like pipes, right there. Okay.
"This is the engine that manufactures the ion energy, powering the complex, creating the black clouds above," Jean explained. "It all begins here."
Glancing around, trying to get a handle on all this alien technology, Batman's mind raced for a solution.
"How can we shut it down?"
he asked. Jean pointed a large, glowing crystal in the center of the complex. Black energy surged through its multifaceted, irregular configuration.
"The ion matrix crystal is the power source," he explained. "If we can remove that, we'll shut down the whole plant."
Batman and Wonder Woman looked at Jean hopefully, as if his simple statement came with a plan attached to it.
"I'll need a diversion," the Martian Manhunter said.
"You've got it," Batman replied, pulling out a batarang and tossing it in one smooth motion. The spinning disc sped through the air, slicing open a thick pipe. The ruptured vein oozed black, oily gunk onto the aliens below. As panic spread among the stunned workers, Wonder Woman tore another pipe from its place in the wall, causing sparks and more to erupt and spread through the cavern. Taking advantage of the diversions, John Jones shifted into a semi-transparent state, dropping down through the floor as a plasma blast passed right through the spot where he had been standing. My nose is just really itchy today. It usually is for some reason on stream. I don't get it. Rising back through the floor in front of the ion matrix crystal, Jean re-solidified his body, surprising the alien guarding the crystal. A quick, well-placed blow to the neck disposed of the guard, and the Martian Manhunter grabbed the crystal from the console on which it rested. Whir. The cacophonous noise wound down as the massive complex ground to a halt. Its throbbing pumps now silent, aliens scrambled in fear and confusion. As Jean raced back towards his teammates, the enormous crystal cradled delicately in his arm. Scrambling to his feet, the guard blasted Jean in the back, sending the Martian Manhunter sprawling to the ground. The ion matrix crystal rolled from his grip. "Jean!" Wonder Woman shouted from across the complex, without removing her gaze from her fallen comrade. Diana lashed out with both fists simultaneously, leveling two guards charging from either side. Flying swiftly to Jean's aid, She lifted him into her arms.
Get him out!
Batman shouted, flipping a guard over his shoulder and bowling over 2 technicians.
Now!
2 soldiers stepped into Wonder Woman's path. Taking to the air, she flew right into them, crashing through the aliens, soaring for the exit that now began to close quickly, in identical fashion to the other swirling membranes attempting to seal its prisoners inside. Spotting the rapidly closing exit, Batman dashed for the door, then stopped as something caught his attention. Stooping over the fallen crystal, Batman scooped it into his hands, then resumed his race for the door. Slipping through the membrane just as it closed, Wonder Woman carried Jean to safety. Turning back, she saw the sealed exit with Batman trapped on the other side. "Batman?" she asked, hardly believing that the incredibly resourceful Dark Knight had not found some way to make it out in time. Clutching the crystal with one hand, Batman pounded on the sealed membrane with his other fist, unable to move the now solid closure. Spinning around in frustration, he found himself surrounded by alien guards who trained their plasma rifles on him. Batman tossed the crystal to his captors, and it rolled along the ground to their feet. Then he braced himself for the coming battle. Okay, so Ion Matrix Crystal is in all caps. At least it's each word is capitalized. So I'll put that as a special item. But otherwise, not a lot to note there. Carl Lumbly's voice. Carl Lumbly does have a good voice, and I cannot do it justice, though I'm trying. Is it true that Jay did time before he became a famous YouTuber? I don't know anything about that. Is this a Jay gossip stream now? I know nothing about Jay's personal life. Is he a famous YouTuber? Am I a famous YouTuber? We're like the same, like the same level of YouTube notoriety, right? Like both right around the 60K. Is that considered famous? Oh, he's got 81K. He's outpaced us. Damn. Well, good on Jay for beating us. There was for a while we had been pretty neck and neck. I guess with the fact that he covers a lot of different topics though, and we kind of stick to one thing, leads him to get more potential growth. Are we already in part 3 of the episode? I feel like it, but it's been so long since I've actually watched the episodes. Good shit on Kino left. Well, hell yeah. Glad you gotta listen to it. Maddie and Jay are very famous, don't we, Month? Are we famous? I don't think I will consider myself a famous YouTuber until somebody recognizes me in public, and like that hasn't happened. The Atom is getting his own series on the CW. Oh, that sounds like fun. On the other side of the door, with Jean recovering nearby, Wonder Woman watched in horror as the wall she had just passed through buckled from the many impacts of plasma blasts fired from the other side. "No!" she screamed, rushing back to the door. Jean reached out and grabbed her arm. "Wait!" he cried. "There is nothing more we can do for him." Staring at the door, Diana saw no more movement, heard no sound, no blasts, no struggle, no last-second heroics. Looking up at Jean, her mind filled with rage and dread, she whispered, "You don't mean he's gone?" Jean completed her thought, nodding grimly. Fighting back tears, she leaned against the misshapen wall. In the short time she had known Batman, Diana had come to respect his experience, knowledge, and intelligence. He was a true warrior of the highest order, and she felt that somehow he would find a way to survive. Surprised by the depth of feeling she had so quickly developed for these mortals, Princess Diana looked up. "Hera, help us," she whispered softly. All right, we're about to hit chapter 8. I'll have to check out his stuff. I'm sure it's really good. Good for him on 80K. Yeah, Jay's a longtime friend of the channel. We've collabed on multiple occasions, and I generally like what he puts out. like talking to the dude. Dude's a cool dude. For a while, he was editing Vanishing Point for us. So that was a fun thing. If I recognize you in public, is it okay to say hello? I mean, I gotta be honest. I'm a little bit of a shy dude in the real world, but like I don't think I would necessarily be taken aback by it. Is Maddie single? Maddie is not single. Maddie's happily engaged to a wonderful, lovely woman that I have been dating for, geez, is it 4 years now? But we got engaged Christmas 2019, which I know like that's like a fucking like haha fucking nerds getting engaged on Christmas. But I think it was I think it was a fun thing to do. But like we were planning on going back home to Georgia to do the wedding and everything like last year, and then of course COVID happened, so all of the plans have been kind of tossed out the window. But yeah, long story short, Maddie is not single. I wonder if the book will explain how Batman survived. It might. Being popular on Twitter and being famous are two different things in my opinion. Yeah, I mean pretty much. Like I think like having an audience of like 60,000 something people is nothing to scoff at, right? And I enjoy that all of y'all are here and with us, but like it doesn't necessarily like affect my day-to-day life in the way that I expect fame would. And also, you know, YouTube doesn't give us a lot of money, so it doesn't affect my life monetarily in the way that I assume fame would either. Let's see, the last time I was in New York, I saw Jay and his wife out in public, but I didn't want to bother them. Huh. Jay edited Vanishing Point. Is that guy involved in anything? I'm not sure what you mean, is he involved in anything? I mean, he's involved in doing his YouTube channel, and he was involved in doing Vanishing Point with us for a little while, but otherwise I'm not sure what exactly you're asking. Heartbreaker. I'm sorry to break hearts. I know I'm an attractive young man, but it's just the way of the world. Nice, didn't realize you got engaged. Congrats. Well, thank you. A little shy myself. If I see you, I'll just give a nod and smile. Sounds good to me, man. Maddie not famous until we get those Maddie tabloids. Like if a guy at the bank asks Maddie for 2 selfies, then he's famous. I don't even go inside the bank that much. But yeah, that would I maybe if I got stopped by like a cashier or something, I'd be like, whoa, okay, this is interesting. Yes, Josiah edits stuff now. All of the stream clips that you've seen have been Josiah's handiwork. So a different J, a J with more letters attached to it. I think we're talking about trying to regroup on those stream clips. I think there was talk about doing like stream clip compilations, because hopefully those will be more engaging and fun for the audience. But yeah, any of the stream stuff that hits the main feed, that's all thanks to Josiah and his quick wit and sense of humor in the editing bay. But all right, chapter 8. Let's see. We're 71% of the way through this book. Let's see if we can get all the way. At the Wayne Tech radar substation on the outskirts of Metropolis, repairs to the damaged satellite dish had been going on for many months and were now nearing completion. It was essential for the military to reestablish its deep space monitoring capabilities. The world could not afford to get caught off guard again by the arrival of any additional invading aliens. Deep rumbles of thunder rolled across the complex, and shafts of lightning split the black sky. A lone technician balanced on the huge dish, welding the final connections into place, pausing every so often to glance up at the ominous, unnatural darkness.
Lifting his welding visor, wiping the sweat from his forehead with the sleeve of his lab coat, the technician signaled a colleague who was waiting inside the installation's control room. "Done," he reported into a two-way radio under his visor. The last connection, I thought we'd never get this dish back online. You should be getting readings by now." "Are you sure you hooked it up right?" came the static-filled reply through the headset. Double-checking his last few welds, the technician responded, "Yeah, it's all correct," he said. "Why?" "My readings are off the charts," the technician monitoring the control panel explained. "Something's coming this way from deep space. Something big. I mean, really big." Okay, so not a lot yet. But that mention of months, where did it go? Where did it go? Many months. Okay. Repairs to the damaged satellite dish had been going on for many months at Wayne Tech Radar Substation. Let me pop this on down. Chapter 8. Repairs to the satellites at the Wayne Tech Radar Substation have been in progress for many months. There we go. A highlight video at the end of the month. Yeah. I'm hoping that those end up getting more people on board. I'm really excited to test that out. I have this theory that Jay's reviews is actually 3 people, but only one of them appears at a time, just like in Mystery of the Batwoman. A few miles away in downtown Metropolis, Snapper Carr continued his round-the-clock coverage of the invasion. Standing in front of the Ion Factory, Carr spoke into his handheld microphone, at the same time receiving constant updates from his producers back at the WGBS newsroom through a small earpiece. "I've just received a report that government sources have confirmed the approach of another object from space," he announced. The smokestacks pouring black energy into the sky were visible behind him. "Based on readings from our deep space monitoring system, they believe this object is roughly 5 times the size of the first asteroids that crashed into the Earth." Carr turned and gestured to the Ion Factory, then looked back at the camera. "Senator J. Allen Carter has urged the public to remain calm in light of this new development," he reported. Several blocks away, the public was anything but calm. The anxiety and tension that had filled the city since the time of the alien landing had finally boiled over into violence. Looters rampaged through the shopping district, smashing windows and generally stealing or destroying anything they could get their hands on. Crowds of people ran, screaming through the streets, overturning cars as police sirens blared in the distance. The Metropolis police force, already overburdened by days of battling the invaders, did what they could to control the crowds, but their resources were spread dangerously thin and chaos reigned on the streets. Pitching a rock through a store window, a young man reached through the shattered storefront and grabbed a small television set, tucking it under his arm. "I always wanted one of these," he said to his buddy, who looked around nervously, expecting the police to arrive at any second. "But what if we get caught?" he asked anxiously. "What difference does it make?" The man with the TV shot back as the two disappeared around a corner. "The world's coming to an end anyway." From a nearby rooftop, John Jones and Wonder Woman looked down on the violence, destruction, and utter lawlessness. "Perhaps Mother was right about mankind," Wonder Woman said sadly. Below, a raving man tossed a metal garbage can through a window, then simply continued down the street. "They are nothing but untamed savages." John Jones watched with calm detachment and a hint of compassion in his large eyes. "Do not judge them too harshly, Princess," he advised. "They act out of fear, and fear usually brings out the worst in all of us." Nearby, 2 men struggled in vain to lift an enormous chunk of concrete that had fallen from a shattered building. As they strained to move the slab, a crowd of rioters ran past, screaming and throwing bottles. "Hey!" shouted one of the men, looking away from his task for a moment. "There are 2 kids trapped under here! Someone, give us a hand!" Ignoring the desperate plea, the shrieking mob raced past, caught up in the bedlam and destruction that had overtaken the streets. Turning back to their hopeless undertaking, the man and his friend braced their shoulders against the base of the slab and heaved, their faces red, veins bulging from the straining necks to no avail. The concrete tomb refused to budge. Suddenly, an emerald light from above surrounded the concrete piece, lifting it into the air like a giant, powerful hand, revealing 2 terrified 6-year-olds huddled in a doorway, their faces masks of fright and disbelief. The man who had cried for help looked up as the Green Lantern placed the concrete wall harmlessly on the street and silently flew away. "Thanks, man!" the relieved rescuer shouted, helping the traumatized children to their feet. The 2 men quickly led them to safety. Wonder Woman and J'onn J'onzz waited, concerned about the lateness of their teammates. Gliding gently to the rooftop, Green Lantern landed beside the heroes. A few seconds later, the Flash streaked straight up the side of the tall building to join the group. "Sorry we're late," Green Lantern said. "Had to stop and help some civilians." "So, what did you call us back for anyway, J'onn?" Flash asked, referring to the telepathic message that had brought the duo racing back from the Malaysian jungle before their task had been completed. "Superman's... that's not J'onn. That's Wonder Woman. Superman's been captured," Wonder Woman explained. "He's trapped, somewhere inside there with Hawk Girl." She pointed to the mammoth ion factory towering above the rooftops. A short distance away, its exterior pumping chambers beating in rhythm, black clouds still billowing from the lofty smokestacks. "Whoa!" Flash exclaimed, staring at the complex. That one looks even nastier than the one we just left." "And what about Batman?" Green Lantern asked, fearing the worst. Sighing deeply, Wonder Woman lowered her head. Her entire body seemed to deflate. She couldn't bring herself to convey the news. J'onn J'onzz looked right at Green Lantern, shaking his head. "He acted heroically to the very end," he said sadly. "His sacrifice enabled us to escape." Stunned, Flash stepped back as if he had been punched in the midsection. The Bat's gone? Really gone? As Wally West, he had worshipped Batman ever since he was a kid, tagging along with the previous Flash, Barry Allen. Barry's death had shaken young Wally to his core, but somehow he had been able to pull himself together and get on with his life. Although he'd lost his mentor, heroes such as the Batman inspired Wally and helped him stay focused on his life's purpose as a superhero. There you go, guys! There it is! There it is! We got it! Hold on. I gotta drop this one on the Twitter because goddamn, what a fucking lore drop that is. That is I think that's the first like official DCAU thing I've seen, like Justice League forward, that says, yes, Barry Allen was a thing. So this just happened in the Secret Origins novelization. And boom. God, wow. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. Hold on. Let me really quick. Let me catch up with a couple of things. Why is there so much talk about Jay? I don't know. Did you hear the one about Kevin Savo? No, I don't know anything about Kevin Savo. What are we reading? The Secret Origins novelization. Yes, okay, Aussie Dragoon covered that for me. But yeah. That's a lot. I don't know. I don't technically, like, So typically I use Google Chrome, but for some reason it doesn't like my streaming software, and so I use Microsoft Edge while on stream. But I've switched search engines from Bing to Google. But yeah, no, this berry thing is a lot. I wonder how are the people feeling? Nobody's responding to it. That's fine. That's fine. We just us here. We just had this moment together. We just had Barry Allen thrown into the DCAU for us. Let's see. Wow. I should go ahead and note that, huh? Let me just go ahead. Let me just drop notes in here. Barry fucking Allen. Then we had mentions of 6-year-olds. And I guess other notes, other clues. Wally West has worshipped Batman as a kid, and was said to be tagging along with Barry Allen in childhood. God damn. Oh, someone hit that quote tweet. Oh, Levi, at last, Barry Allen in the DCAU. It's official. But yeah, wow. Okay, that is a big one. Does that mean Wally West used to be Kid Flash? I mean, it seems that that's what they are suggesting here. Dwayne McDuffie has said that Flash and Kid Flash are two separate characters in the DCAU, but I think that like official material overrides creator commentary. So there we go. I'm shook. Help me. We're all shook here. We're all shook. Okay, wow. Once he took on the responsibilities of being the fastest man alive, Wally joked about the Dark Knight's serious attitude and grim demeanor, but underneath, he had nothing but respect for the protector of Gotham. He hoped to one day be as great a hero, but now he'd have to do it without the great detective. He was a true warrior, Wonder Woman said softly, finally able to speak. Green Lantern... You know what, Josiah? Whenever I send you stuff for clips, I'm gonna send this as well. It's not a funny clip like we usually do, but I do think that this is something that like will really be able to clickbait the video, right? Just like we could name it Barry Allen in the DCAU and other stream highlights. Something along those lines. But yeah, this will be a really good clickbait moment for sure. Did Maddie ever meet Gabby? What is Gabby? Who made this novelization? Michael Teitelbaum. But yeah, wow. Okay, he hoped to one day be and he was a true warrior. Okay, Green Lantern's face tightened, grim determination masking his pain. He had seen more than his share of death, even the loss of close friends, but it never got any easier. Burying his feelings of dread beneath the armor of his chiseled exterior, he turned to the others. "This is not good," he growled. "Definitely not good." After absorbing the devastating news as best as they could and regaining their composure, the four heroes made their way to the Ion Factory. Crouching silently behind the wall of a damaged building, they peered at the menacing structure. which was far more threatening up close. "I can't believe we're doing this again," Flash whispered nervously. If Superman, who's Green Lantern? "If Superman and Hawkgirl are in there, someone's gotta rescue them," Green Lantern pointed out, no more pleased about another attempt to break into a factory than his less experienced colleague. He turned to Jean. "You are sure they're still in there, aren't you?" he asked. Once again, Jean slipped into a telepathic trance, his eyes glowing orange, his face and body motionless, no sign of breathing. "Jean!" Green Lantern asked again. "Did you hear me?" Jean's eyes stopped glowing and his chest heaved. His chest heaved slightly as his breathing returned to normal. "Yes," he replied, having heard every word. "Your friends are still alive, but we must act quickly. The Imperium is coming." "The who?" Flash asked, wondering if he would ever understand anything this weird Martian guy said. "The Imperium," Jean repeated, "a supreme central intelligence that controls these invaders. He is also in psychic command of his organically created factory. Of this organically, okay. As if it were one of his soldiers." Looking into the blackened sky, he added solemnly, "We have met before." Flash grabbed Green Lantern's elbow and pulled him a few steps to the side. "Think we can trust this space case?" he asked in a low voice. "What choice do we have?" The Emerald Warrior whispered back. He quickly turned to the others. "Okay, we're going in. Flash, create a diversion. Diana, watch my back." Arching an eyebrow, Wonder Woman shot a puzzled look at Green Lantern. "You want to rely on an amateur?" Ignoring her barb, Green Lantern shouted, "Let's move!" Bursting from his hiding place, Flash tore across the charred pavement, streaking past a walker pod. Stopping suddenly, the Scarlet Speedster grabbed a rock and pitched it at the walker, stirring the pod high above ground level. "Tag, you're it!" he shouted, sticking out his tongue and blowing a raspberry at the monstrous machine, which turned and fired a round of plasma blasts at him. Moving at blinding speed, Flash avoided each searing beam and led the walker away from the factory, keeping its attention focused on him. "Missed me," he taunted. "Not even close." Zigzagging back and forth in front of the walker, then circling around it a few times for good measure, Flash led his adversary toward a large mound near the edge of the clearing, created by the emergence of the factory. "Come on, slowpoke!" he shouted, standing next to the mound, waving his crimson-clad arms. "I dare you to catch me! Over here!" Close to its target now, the walker lifted its huge leg, bringing it down swiftly, trying to crush Flash where he stood. Zooming out of the way at the last second, Flash stopped, turned, and watched the walker step on the mound, a landmine nodule identical to the one Flash himself had tripped at the factory in the jungle. Thoom! The mine erupted in a geyser of goo, the explosive force blowing off the bottom third of the walker's legs. "Oops!" Flash cried, pretending to stifle an exaggerated giggle. "You really stepped in it this time!" Wobbling as it struggled to regain balance, the walker toppled to the ground, shattering upon impact. "Bye-bye!" Flash said, grinning and waving his fingers, then zipping away in a blur. Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and J'onn J'onzz took full advantage of the distraction Flash provided, flying into the hole in the factory wall that Superman had created earlier. "J'onn, where are Superman and Hawkgirl being held?" Green Lantern asked once they were inside, navigating the maze of organic vein-like corridors. The Martian Manhunter's eyes glowed for a moment, then returned to normal. "This way," he said, pointing down a narrow passageway. As the three heroes landed, proceeding on foot, Flash zoomed up beside them. "Hope I didn't keep you," he said, grinning and falling into step with the others. Voices up ahead stopped the group in its tracks. J'onn motioned from his companions to get out of sight. "Wait here," he said as the others pressed their backs against a damp, fleshy wall. I don't know what's up with all of this J chat. Like I said, I'm not very like up to date on any of his content, so I don't know anything that's being talked about right now. So I don't know why there's a desire to keep that chat going. I cannot weigh in on these things that you're talking about. At the end of the day, I really think Barry Allen is a good member of the Justice League. Is the Watchtower database going to start covering Sly Cooper content to compete with Jay? I have no intention to do Sly Cooper content personally, but that's just me. Can't believe we're doing this again, Flash whispered. What are y'all talking about? I do not know what y'all are talking about with this Gabby and Kevin and Jay stuff. I mean, I don't really care to know. It's not my drama to be in on, but a geyser of goo, a goozer, yes. As his teammates watched in amazement, Jean abandoned his human form, morphing into an exact likeness of an invader, tall and fluid, patches of gray and red amorphously shifting on his milky white exterior. Racing down a corridor, Jean approached two alien guards. Cha porra ti orta! He shouted, informing them of a break-in, pointing in the direction of his friends. As the guards rushed past him, Jean reverted to his familiar human-like form. Turning semi-transparent, he dropped into the ground beneath his feet. Moving slowly through the solid rock, the Martian Manhunter headed toward his friends. Farther up the passage, the aliens came upon Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Flash, all pressed tightly against the wall. The guards raised their weapons, aiming them at the heroes. Jean, still in his semi-transparent form, rose through the ground, silently emerging behind the aliens. He shoved his fists through their backs, then re-solidified his body. Aye! The invaders shrieked in pain as Jean's now solid arms struck them like jackhammers, turning semi-transparent again. Jean removed his arms from the guards' bodies. They crumpled to the ground unconscious. Assuming his solid form again, Jean motioned from the others to follow. Come, he said, racing back around the corner. Flash glanced at his two teammates, each of whom met his frightened, amazed, and skeptical gaze with astonished looks of their own. Is it just me, he asked, or does he creep you out too? Leading the others through the labyrinth of corridors, Jean came to a sudden stop at what appeared to be a sealed doorway, blending into the walls on either side. He placed his palms flat against the wall, and his eyes glowed for a moment. We are close now, he reported. I sense they are just beyond these walls. Pressing her shoulder against the door, Wonder Woman strained with all her considerable might, but the entryway refused to budge. Stepping back, exhaling in exhaustion and frustration, she shook her head. It's no use, she admitted. We'll have to find another way through. Stand clear! Green Lantern said, raising his power ring, using a fine beam from the ring like a welding torch. He sliced a small hole in the doorway. Moving the beam slowly outward, he proceeded to cut a large circle in the door. As Green Lantern worked, Jean turned quickly, as if listening for sounds in the distance, his eyes glowing again briefly. We haven't much time left. Oh wait, no, that was Jean, not John. Oopsie. Outside the factory, a deafening roar like endless thunder echoed through the concrete canyons, shattering windows and splitting steel as deadly debris tumbled it to the sidewalks. Looters and rioters stopped their destruction and stared up in terror at the latest arrival in this seemingly eternal invasion. A young man, who had just pulled a radio from a shattered shop window, pointed to the sky. Thick black clouds parted, making way for an enormous spaceship, 3 football fields long, that slowly descended toward the ion factory, its immense shadow cast by the non-stop flashing of lightning, covered the shrouded city in an even deeper layer of darkness. Okay, so really quick, I'm gonna add the Imperium, because this is the first time we're getting them mentioned, I believe. What's happening here? I thought this was a DCAU channel. It is a DCAU channel, for the most part. Though, every now and then we make some non-DCAU stuff. I made a Minions video that one time. I have no clue what you're talking about, Lemonade Bay. I do not know how many times I have to say that. You are just saying things without any context for them at all, and I do not understand them, and I have no clue what you're talking about, and I can't comment on it because you're not explaining anything, and honestly, I do not care for the drama right now. If it keeps going, I'ma kick you. Back in the factory, Green Lantern's power beam completed its journey around the doorway, aiming for the center of the circle he had sliced. Green Lantern kicked the door, and the round cutout piece fell inward, dropping to the floor in the chamber beyond. We're in! He shouted, stepping through the hole, followed closely by the others. The shocking sight that greeted the heroes froze them in their tracks. Dangling upside down from the ceiling, Superman and Hawkgirl hung helplessly, their feet embedded in the tissue-like roof of the chamber, their eyes closed. Yes, Lemonade Bay. I kick people from this chat. It's very easy to do. I do this, I put user in timeout, and there you go. I can also, I don't know how long timeout lasts for, but I can also completely remove your ability to be seen on the channel. So like, just when I ask you to chill about something, just chill about it. I cannot talk about these things that you're asking me to talk about. The shocking sight that, plus we're, doing a thing. We're reading a book here. This is what the stream is about. Josiah, make me mod. Yeah, you know what? I will, oh, I don't know how to do that from mobile. But I'll see what I can do about that, later on though. I'm not sure. I guess I can't do it from mobile because on mobile I'm using my account rather than the Watchtower database account. Look, bladder infection, I'm gonna do the same to you. We're not doing this. The shocking sight that greeted the heroes froze them in their tracks. Dangling upside down from the ceiling, Superman and Hawkgirl hung helplessly, their feet embedded in the tissue-like roof of the chamber, their eyes closed. "Great Hera!" Wonder Woman exclaimed, rushing toward her trapped teammates with Green Lantern and Flash by her side. J'onn J'onzz waited cautiously, surveying the cavernous chamber. Wait, he shouted as the others raced forward. "Something is not right." As if in reaction to J'onn's warning, Superman suddenly opened his eyes. An orange glow flashed from the gleaming orbs. "Whoa!" Flash cried, slamming on the brakes. Stopping just short of the dangling figures. Behind them, the hole that Green Lantern had cut sealed itself, oozing closed like a wound, healing at incredible speed. Small pores opened in the walls all around them, flooding the chambers with choking venomous gas. "It's a trap!" Green Lantern shouted, falling to his knees. "Lantern, your ring!" Wonder Woman gasped, losing her balance, tumbling to the ground. "Can't focus!" Green Lantern wheezed. "The gas! I... Within seconds, the four heroes lay sprawled on the chamber floor, unconscious. Superman and Hawkgirl dropped from the ceiling, flipping onto their feet, cackling maliciously at the fallen champions. Morphing back into their true forms, the aliens resumed their red, gray, and black appearance. "Dafa to Ghoul!" One alien screeched, then helped the other carry the four limp bodies from the chamber. Alright, so we're on chapter 9, which I believe is the last chapter. I need to see... how long is this chapter gonna be before I hop into it? It is... page 137. Oh, Jesus. It is... Page 137 to 160. Okay, so this is going to be a pretty long chapter, and then there's the epilogue. So I'm going to go ahead and call it right now, because I am on a time crunch. Got to be somewhere in, like 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a day on reading. I'll catch up with the last couple things on chat, and then we'll close this on out. And next week will be the finale of the Secret Origins. Picking favorites much? I'll mute you too, Rob. This ship is icky, like being in a big sphincter. Oh no, I didn't even think about it that way. Was I the only one who automatically expected Jon Stewart when they first announced the Green Lantern movie 10 years ago? No, you're not. Jon Stewart was the only Lantern I knew at the time. Let's see. I hope the last chapter, then the video will be 6:39. Oh, you know what? You raise a good point, but I don't have the time to do it today. I would love to be able to make the joke though, but it is what it is. It's got kind of weird towards the end, but I had fun. Well, I'm glad you had fun, big booty white girl. That's we don't have enough big booty white girls having fun these days. So it's good. It's good you're having fun. But yeah, that was kind of weird. Like I do not care about YouTube drama. I'm not a YouTube drama channel, even if like the drama involves people I'm friends with. Like I don't know what their drama is, right? Like there's a difference between being like YouTube friends and being real life friends, where like your real life friends give you the dirt. YouTube friends, like you chat with each other every now and then, and like whenever you're like, hey, like shit's coming up, and it'd be fun to have you on board, blah 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 blah. But like we don't talk to each other a lot about like our personal lives and stuff. Like on occasion we will, if our time lines up, but so much of our focus is just on creating the content that we are creating that like we don't necessarily have as much time to really do all that. So when you want me to weigh in on someone else's YouTube drama and I tell you I have no clue what you're talking about, I can't weigh in on it. I have no clue what you're talking about. Let's see. My introduction to Hal Jordan was that one episode of Duck Dodgers. That was a good episode. I remember that. Please don't kick. I have no need to kick you. Anyway, we got Barry Allen in the DCAU today, so let's be happy. Yes. Yeah, I don't get it at all, but it is what it is. Love you, Maddie. Thanks for being a good example. Drama is not fun for anyone in any circumstance. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy drama, but that's just not what this is right now. Right? We came here with a specific intent to read this book, and if I'm down to chat about things as they come up if they aren't necessarily relevant, but like I just cannot chat about things I do not know about at all. And like what is the point of that? Why would you want me to weigh in on that? It just doesn't make any sense. Let's see. Video title: Justice League Secret Origins, Chapter 6 through Barry Allen. I gave my friend a half-eaten plastic bowl of Cheerios for the express reason of becoming a punchline later when I ask for them back. You know what? So long as the punchline's funny to you and your friend, that's all that matters. But anyway, I'm caught up. I got some things I need to go ahead and do, so I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all take it easy. Deuces.